title of your educational is Open House to the Rescue. Let's welcome Carolyn Cousins-Goldman, Distinguished Toastmaster, past Distinguished District 52 Governor. Carolyn Cousins-Goldman.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and of course we have no guests tonight, but we may, and hopefully we will, in January at our open house. Open house to the rescue. What does that mean? An open house can be used to rescue a club. It doesn't necessarily have to be, however. An open house can be used to build membership in a club like our own, Toastmasters for Leaders, which is already doing well. Now, there are 4 components to a really successful open house. The first is having a keynote speaker. The second is having free food, which we all know attracts people. A well-organized program, which represents the club, and advertising, which is done well ahead of time. Now, why is this so important? Because when all these components are in play, you produce an open house that not only attracts a lot of people to come, but attracts people to stay. Let me give you an example of this exact thing. A few years ago, a friend of mine was president of a club that was doing pretty well. They were not floundering with members, lack of members, but they wanted more members. Decided to have an open house. She got a keynote speaker. Now that club is a community club. So one way is to get a keynote speaker from the community. But she didn't do that. Instead, she got a keynote speaker from the community of District 52. That speaker is somebody who's won many contests, including the district contest. Very good speaker. So she had her keynote in place, somebody that would attract people to attend this open house. Her club met at a restaurant. So the food was provided by asking the members to chip in so that the restaurant could provide a nice buffet. And they did that. She had a well-organized program which represented how that club normally met, how their programs were normally organized. She had a keynote, but she had other speakers who were quite good. Did the evaluations, had good evaluators, she did the table topics, etc. And then she did advertising. Now what was interesting is that the advertising she did well in advance, 2 months in advance. They had flyers, such as I have here, that were put out in front of different companies that were near the restaurant where they met. In addition, they had an incentive program for their members. Whoever brought in the most members who ended up joining, most guests who joined would end up getting a prize. Her open house was very successful. It was so successful that they had 30 people there, and half of those people were guests. Half. They had 5 new members that came out of that open house. It was really worth doing, using these 4 components. Now, as most of you know, Toastmasters for Leaders is going to have an open house coming up on January 16th. We have a wonderful keynote speaker, Roberta Perry. Not only is she known in the district, which draws the type of members we need, because in our club being an advanced club, we are soliciting members from District 52 or any district in Southern California. They have to be existing Toastmasters. They have to belong to a home club. That's our base or our audience that we want to bring in. Roberta is very well known in our district and in other districts like Founders District and District 33, District 12. Whomever comes to our open house will know of her. Plus, she is a member of our club as well. Free food. We're going to have a potluck where our members will bring in an item of food. Food always entices. It's like a keynote. The keynote and the advertisement entices people to come. but also the free food does as well. So we will have free food for the guests that come in. Now, a well-organized program is so important, and we're already working on that. Our EVP, Kathleen Lubin, has already put together most of the program for the open house. She has 2 additional speakers who are quite good, besides our keynote. We're going to have table topics, we'll have the evaluations, it'll be a full program. Now, advertising has already started for this event. The flyer has been sent out in the beginning of December. It will be sent out again in a few days, sent out in the beginning of January, and one more time before the actual open house. Fellow Toastmasters, using these 4 criteria, you might say, or these 4 steps to creating an open house will ensure that you'll have people that will be interested in coming, they'll be interested in seeing the keynote, getting free food, and finding a very well-organized club when they get there. And then with the advertising, it will bring them in. So remember that an open house does not always have to be a difficult thing to put together. It can be quite easy. And an open house can help your club make its membership goals and become as good as our club's going to be this next year, our Club Toastmasters for Later. Madam Toastmaster.